Father's house. I am live, and it's Sunday morning. It's Sunday morning, and it's December, and it's 2018. Yes, I have been called by God to preach. Therefore, I preach. And today is Sunday. I can preach on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday, or Saturday, for that matter. I am Joseph McGee. Joseph the Dreamer 10. That's me. I got a fat face. I got a fat belly. And I've got a wonderful God in heaven who sits on the throne. And he's got a glorified Son up there with him. And someday he's going to send his Son back to the earth for a specific reason. Yeah. And that reason being to rule with the saints. And I'm afraid there are a whole lot of folks in 2018 that are calling themselves saints, but they ain't. Yeah, I really am. And I am live on YouTube. We'll see how this goes. There was a man years ago who happened to be a murderer. He was a killer. Yep. He killed an Egyptian. His name was Moses. He fled to get away from Pharaoh. He got away. He was away from him for quite a while. And the way I have, got this figured out now is Pharaoh after Pharaoh after Pharaoh shows up. Yep. Pharaoh after Pharaoh. And there was a Pharaoh. And Moses killed an Egyptian. And he ran. And wound up with a wife and a couple of kids. Yep. He got out of Dodge, so to speak. Yeah. Because Pharaoh wasn't impressed, with what Moses had done. I don't think Pharaoh was really impressed with what Moses did. I don't know if it's the same Pharaoh, but Pharaoh heard from Moses. He sure did. And Moses had heard from God. He sure did. Some people, have heard from God, and that's a good thing. It really is. But it's back to Moses. Moses went up on the mountain after having a lot of experiences after he went back to Egypt. Evidently, the first Pharaoh that wanted him dead, must not have recognized him. But God wouldn't let him die anyway. He was on a mission. Yeah. Moses was on a mission. He had been told by God to go to Pharaoh. And Moses had a little problem with that. God fixed the problem. Aaron, you know, you can read about Aaron and Moses. I've read about them. But Moses did a lot of signs. And the last sign that was performed, he told the people, tonight's the night. We're going to have a feast. Keep your shoes on. That was quite a day, folks. That was several thousand years ago. They didn't have cell phones. They didn't have telephones. They didn't have Facebook. They didn't have YouTube. But I do. I got it all. Yep. This is 2018. And I am Joseph the Dreamer. And I'm in my Father's house. And I'm preaching the gospel of the kingdom. Now, Pharaoh didn't have a shot because God had already told Moses what he was going to do with Pharaoh. And God did exactly what he said he was going to do with Pharaoh. Yep. That was years ago, folks. I know you people don't like the truth, but that's not anything new. But Pharaoh, I think Pharaoh, I don't think he was real happy after all the firstborn were dead. God killed all of them. Well, I'm not sure. Well, God is the one that said he was going to kill them. And how he does it, that's his business. He can kill them ever how he wants to. I never have seen an angel, but I've heard about what one can do. It must have been really something living on the earth in Noah's day. Yeah. Noah got to see a lot of angels. Noah got to see God. Yeah. That's back in Noah's day. Today's my day, 2018. I'm Joseph the Dreamer. Yep. God wants some people to know some things. He really does. God does not want to be a mystery. He doesn't. He just wants to be God. He wants to be the Father. And guess what? He is. Well, Bob, don't you know? Yeah, I sure do. God is. I got a book. There wasn't much writing going on until Moses' day. There were some writing, but there was a lot of writing going on for 40 years after Moses went to tell Pharaoh. God said, let my people go. Let me just throw this in. Looks like a good place to do it. God was talking to Moses, And I'm going to talk to you just like I'm talking. Yeah, the Bible is the history book. I got one. I didn't have to ask God a whole lot of questions because he didn't call me over to a burning bush. I just had to answer some questions that God asked me years ago. I answered the questions. I didn't have a choice. When God asks a question, he's going to get an answer. It's the way God is. Well, Moses did what he was supposed to do, and God gave him a lot of information. And according to, what I can come up with, it's in the history book. According to what I've heard, now I didn't go to school to get this information, so you can take it for what it's worth. It's what everybody does. Yes, they do. I believe Moses wrote Genesis. I sure do. I don't think anybody else did. I think Moses and the writers wrote Exodus. I sure do. Somebody wrote Joshua. It got recorded what happened with Joshua after Moses died. I don't think Moses wrote Joshua. I sure don't. Moses died on one side of the river. God got done what he wanted done with Moses, and he died. Joshua crossed the river. And according to what I read, when they crossed the river, some flint knives came into play. And there was a cutting away. And the next thing that I read, some spies, a harlot, some walls came down. Yep. That was years ago. That was a long time ago. That was after the flood of Noah's day. After Noah's day, the angels can still get here to the earth. And they do. Yeah. God sends them. He sure does. And they are excellent at doing what God wants done. So there's a debate coming up next month. Yeah. I'm interested in the debate. Yeah, I am. I don't think God is pleased with some things, and God can fix some things when he's not pleased with it. Yeah, he sure can. I am in my Father's house, and I have made this video today. We'll see how it works. Yep. I'll probably share it on YouTube. On Facebook if this works like it should, and I feel like it probably will. If you all are having a wonderful day, I am Joseph the Dreamer 10. I am in my Father's house. I preach the gospel of the kingdom. Yep. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. I'm going to have a good one. Sure am. Thank you.